All right. Bye
Thanks
bye.
for your call. Bye-bye. Malik, are you there?
Yes, I am.
All righty, Malik. Talk to me nice.
All right. How you doing?
I'm so
See,
good. How are you doing? I feel like I haven't heard from you in a little while.
yeah, I've been missing your live.
I'm sorry.
I ain't been getting notification when you come on. Maybe
I'm sorry. I
they
don't think
they
I've been planning them far ahead in advance. And then I
okay.
did my last live was on Sunday, and that's a day for football, so a lot of people are going to miss that. But you're here now, so you have the
Right.
floor.
You just did.
Talk to me. What
You
do you
stepped on.
think? Do you think that the James duo is just as good as the Griffey duo?
No, no, I like it. I think listening to the call you had with played with Vernon Maxwell.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like he admitted, if he had the clout, he would have did the same thing with his son. I mean, nepotism been going on for a long time, if they want to call it this. It's been going on forever, and it's just amazing how people keep saying Bronny taking somebody's job and all that, even though he was the
He
55th
said he
person.
said that too, though. You heard him say that he took someone else's job, right?
Right, I say that's what I'm saying. I don't
Okay.
understand why people keep saying that he took somebody else's job. Like everybody that's drafted in the NBA is so good, and none of them ever got a spot that could have went to somebody. I think every time they draft a European player, they take away a job for one of them brothers in college that play their hearts out trying to get into the NBA. I mean, it's just what happens. That's what they do. And so I don't know why everybody want to keep saying Bronny took somebody's job, and the guy you had on the other day that was crying and all of that, he in the G League now, and I mean that's the way it happened. You can't say Bronny took his job. How about the 54th pick person? Maybe he took his job. If we want to look at it that way, I just think
I
that
mean, that's something I think, and I'm just going to interrupt you real quick because I want to address two things that you said. But when we talk, so there's a lot of chatter, right, about the 55th pick. What about the 54th pick? What about all the other teams that passed up on Quincy? What about, right? We hear a lot of these
right,
things, and I think that it's an interesting thing to say, okay, well, what about the 54th pick? Why are we making such a big deal about the 55th pick? Can we for a moment recognize how great it is to be in the NBA, whether you're the first pick or the last pick? Can we just for a moment talk about that? Because if your child went to the NBA as the 55th pick, you would be really proud of that, wouldn't you? Like, how would you feel as a dad? Would you be proud of that?
of course,
Even if he was
and,
the
and,
if he was the
and
last pick in the draft, if he just made it, would you be proud of that?
any pick he get, even if he was a walk on, it wouldn't matter.
Right.
And if I had the clout like a LeBron James did,
Right, but
and
we're
I could
not
get
we're
my
just we're
son in
just
there.
talking about you. We're just talking about you, a regular person,
Okay,
me,
and
a
if I
regular
had the clout,
person, and if
and if
he
I had the clout, I would do it for my child. Whether
but we're not talking
I,
about clout. We're just talking about if your kid made it anywhere, any pick, right? Like you would be really proud of that. So that's just what I
that's
want to
right.
focus on
Even if
for a
he did,
moment. I just want to focus
okay,
on that for a moment because going to the NBA is really special no matter what pick you're in. So we have to stop downplaying the 55th pick. Can we stop
right.
doing that?
And
Only
I'm not
only because
downplaying any
only
of it.
because hey, like there's only 400 some odd spots in the NBA. Not everybody gets a chance to be a part of that league. It
That's
is
right.
it is a fraternity, it is special, it is sacred, it is so many things, right? It's being able to provide a life for not just yourself but for other people. It opens doors, right? So
That's right.
I think it's remiss of us to not recognize that the 55th pick has, you know, just as much cachet, or it's It's okay to be a 55th pick. It's not something silly or dumb or whack or, oh, it's no big deal. It's a big deal to be in the NBA. It's a big deal to make it. Hold on one moment. One second. It's a big deal to make it into the G League as well. So it is a huge deal to make it to the NBA. It's a big deal to go to the G League. Those spots are only for the most talented people, and they should be for the most talented people. And I hear your point about the Europeans. I'm of the opinion that the NBA is obsessed with marketing internationally. They're obsessed with entering this market. They're obsessed with washing out Black American men in the league in favor of, the foreign players. And they've been obsessed with this since the 60s. So I'm with you on that point, but I'm not with you on the point of why are we obsessing over a 55th pick? Why are we saying, why are we making it seem like it's such a big deal? Because it is a big deal. Being in the NBA is a big deal.
Right. And when I was saying that, I wasn't saying why are people obsessing because it's a big deal. I would say why they was making a big deal over this one particular player. But
because so we're not making a big deal of Bronny. I want to be clear that I'm not making a big deal of Bronny. You're not. The media, the media is praising Bronny as if he were a number one pick. So when you're hyped up, when your dad comes out and puts up, tweets like Bronny's better than half the guys I'm watching right now on League Pass, shit's lightweight hilarious. Do I need to put that up again for you? You know that tweet that I'm talking about, right?
I know all of it.
Right. So when we tweet things like that, when you say things like that, it's just like when you played basketball, right, Malik? Like at some point?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So
Yes,
back in the day on the playground, on the playground, if you talk shit, if you talked about how you could beat somebody, if you told people what you were going to do and you came up short, what happened after the end of the game? People talked to you, right? They talk shit back. And not only did they talk to you, they probably talked about you. They might have talked about you for several days after if you got your ass beat. If you couldn't back it up, when you talk, you have to be able to back it up. And something that I always say is that if you say it, then we can pick it up. So that's the problem, is that LeBron James is putting these things out there and he's giving people content. He's giving people something to work with. One second. So LeBron is giving people something to work with and he's giving people the material. He's doing that. He's saying that Bronny is going to be this. He was saying that Bronny was better than half the NBA players that are currently in the league. So when you say that and then Bronny comes out and shoots literally 1 for 15, that's an issue. When he checks into the game and he's instantly a -5 over 3 minutes, it's not that you're not backing up any of what you said. Bronny's not living up to the hype and people are going to critique that. People are going to poke holes in that. And that should be expected. And that's anybody. That's not just because he's LeBron James. When you say that you're going to do something and you don't do it, when you say I'm good at this and in fact you suck, people are going to criticize that. That's life. That's what happens. That's not about it being, oh, it's because it's LeBron. No, it's because LeBron said that his child was going to shine in this league. He said that just a week or two ago, that Bronny was going to shine in this league. JJ Redick is saying that he earned his opportunity when he's just out here purse snatching. And yes, he did steal a contract from somebody else. He might not have stole it from Quincy, from anybody that's more qualified, because there's I'm more qualified to be on the Lakers than Bronny at this point. The way that he's shooting, the way he's turning over the ball, the way he's picking up his dribble with nowhere to go. I wouldn't make any decisions like that on the floor. And I'm just kidding about me being better than Bronny, but like, seriously, we need to get real about Bronny. He doesn't belong, and it's okay for us to admit that he doesn't belong.
And can you hear me? Am I still on?
I can hear you.
All right. I'm saying, and with all that, how can they judge him now when he played one game? He played one game in the NBA. He's going to play more games. He got to play more than one game before you can say whether he is any good or he's not any good.
Can I
And
ask you
trying
a
to
question? Can I ask you some questions?
sure.
So the first question I have is, what do you have to do to get to the NBA? What do you have to show people?
Well, judging if we just use what happened now, all you need is a
I'm not.
father
I
that's good
didn't
enough to
say.
get
I'm
you in
not
there.
talk. I'm not
If
talking about.
that's what
I'm
y'all
not
saying.
talking about judging now. The question that I asked you was, what does a player have to do to get to the NBA?
Is
So this means that
is
Bronny's
play
not in the
ball.
NBA. You typically play at some point you play on the playground. Maybe then you play in middle school, maybe you play in high school, maybe you play in college, right? So what are some of the things that you think that players have to do to get to the NBA? What do you do
Is what
that
they
shows
all do.
people that you're
Play
ready?
basketball.
Okay,
Play
so
basketball.
Bronny played basketball. And so
That's right.
are you saying that he showed qualities that prove that he belongs in the NBA prior to coming?
Well,
Did he play
I
well in
say,
college?
well, he played. He only played 25 games in college, and
How
he
many,
averaged
can
5
I ask
points.
you something? How many games do you think are in a college season? Do you know?
I don't know. I
You
never
said
really
he
kept up with the
only
exact
played
time.
25 games.
I
Can I
said,
tell you that Bronny missed just 5 games of his USC
so,
season? That's all
so
he
you
missed
say
was
it's
5
30 days.
games.
Well, then he did enough that he's still in the NBA. It don't matter. You got
You're
players
saying
that
it
play
doesn't
really
matter.
good.
So Malik, we
Can
can't
I finish
hold
my
on.
thought?
Yes, but you can't say that it doesn't matter and then make the comments that you're making. You're saying he only played 1 game. So I'm asking you, what when was he supposed to show that he was built for the NBA? So if he didn't show it in high school and college, why would he be able to show it in the first game of the NBA season? He didn't show it in the summer league, he didn't show it in preseason, so he didn't show it in the first NBA game either. When are we supposed to, as NBA fans, and when are we supposed to accept, based on what LeBron has told us, that Bronny is ready to be in the NBA?
We can try to think anything we want to think. We don't have anything to do with who they take in the NBA and who they don't. That LeBron James' son played and he averaged. I want people to know that what's his name? He played for Miami. Jimmy Butler. Jimmy Butler went to a junior college. His first year in Marquette, he averaged 5 points a game. His first year. 5 points. He's one of the best players in the NBA today. So just because you didn't do much in high school, you
Can I
might not
ask
have
you a
done much
question?
in
Can I
college.
ask
That
you a
don't mean you
question
wouldn't do
about that
good.
analogy? So hold on. So I'm going to stop you when I feel like a lie is being told, or if I feel that the facts are being misrepresented. Do you know what Marquette's record was that year? And do you know who was playing alongside Jimmy Butler his freshman year?
But what do that have to do with what he averaged?
It has
What
a
that have to
lot.
do with that?
Malik,
Who was playing?
Malik, it has a lot to do with that in college basketball. So if you're part of a good program and you're not obviously being highlighted in that program, but so like fast forward, because Jimmy Butler wasn't one and done. You have to be a really great player to be one and done, right? One and done players, they have to be really good. And Bronny was not. So he proved that he was not good enough to go one and done to the NBA, but he's here. So you're saying that it doesn't matter because he's here, right? So how long?
Of
And
course it does.
my question is to you. You said that he only played 1 NBA game. When should we expect Bronny
Offset
to?
don't play
I'm
one NBA game.
asking you a question. When do you
I'm not
think?
done. When did I say?
Hold on. When do you think, because you said that we were judging Bronny based on 1 NBA game, when do you think that we're allowed to critique him? When are people who are watching him play allowed to critique Bronny? Can you answer that for me?
Anybody, you can critique anybody anytime you want. Anybody can. That ain't what I was saying. I was saying that I did say that LeBron James' son still only played one game in the NBA, and already you saying he ain't no good. I'm saying why you got to give a person a chance. Somebody can come in and play one game,
All I'm
don't
saying,
score no
Malik,
points, then the next game they can score 20 points.
all I'm
That's
saying,
all I'm saying.
all I am saying is that Bronny was never good. And people that we give a chance to prove themselves in the NBA, it's because they've shown and they've proven that they were either winners in college, winners in high school. They had the ability to be a star on any of those teams. We never saw that from Bronny. We never saw stardom from him in high school or college.
Please
And
try to
hold
follow
on, hold on. And so when, when we're watching somebody play in high school and college and they're not the best player on their high school team, they're not the best college on the best player on their college team, that's part of the judgment. That's part of the criticism that, hey, that's why we're not believing that he belongs. We don't believe he belongs in the NBA because he didn't prove it anywhere else. And then he gets to the NBA and it feels like he's not ready for it. And that he needed to spend time in the G League or in no league, that he needs to play video games and date white women.
4-year contract. So all the people that's feeling that way, it don't matter. He's there. He's there. And it's and plenty players that played in the NBA that wasn't good, that didn't make it. You got some that played in there, and people can make it in for different reasons. Everybody don't have to be a star. They
Okay.
can play
So
good defense.
Bronny doesn't have to be a star. He doesn't have to be a star. You're right. So my next question, my last question, and we can end the call with this, Malik, is, when do you think that we'll be allowed to see what Bronny's real skill set is? When are we going to see that he's built for the NBA? When do you think that will be?
Well, I think when he play as he playing, he's going to be better. And I think when he do, no matter how good he do, the people who hating on him and his father are going to still find something wrong with something that he do. They looking for
All
that
of what you just
instead of
said,
just
Malik,
giving the man
hold
a
on
chance
a
to play.
second. All of what you just said is completely irrelevant. I asked you a question about a timeline of when we can expect Bronny to get better and to be a fully developed NBA player, because he's not one right now. So he's not an NBA player right now. No, I'm talking basketball, and I'm asking you a question. One moment. I'm asking you, when can we expect Bronny to fully transform into an NBA basketball player? Right now, he's dressed for Halloween, and I want to know when does the uniform and the costume come off, and when does he become a real NBA player?
At the rate that it's going to take for that to show, when we see him playing as he's going to do, and I believe he's going to be good because he had the greatest coach he could have ever had, and that was his father. And his father could teach him, and I know he taught him more about this game than any of them could. I just think that as he plays, because no matter how much the people hate, he's there, and he's going to play, and I believe he's going to be a good basketball player. And I watch him play. He had games where he scored 15 in college. He had 11-point game. He had 17-point games in the last game with in the preseason. So he showed that he can score points, and nobody gives him credit when he played good. But they always want to talk about when he don't play good. And when he played good, it was because they got.
So that's not true. So Malik, I had to mute you because that's a lie. Okay, Bronny, I woke up to every single preseason game of Bronny with him being praised when he literally scored 0 points. In the game where he scored 17 points, he had 17 points off of 17 shots. Okay. Quincy Oliveri scored 19 points in the first half. Okay. Bronny did not score those 17 points until garbage time, until the Warriors were already being blown out by 60. I'm sorry. The Warriors were blowing the Lakers out by 60. I'm not going to praise a 17-point performance and a blowout loss. So, but yet ESPN, Gilbert Arenas, they all did that. They praised him in a 17-point loss, in a 60-point blowout loss when he scored 17 points. So that is a lie. And everybody is not hating on Bronny. People are praising him. In fact, the media is praising him, and he is, becoming a household name. They're talking about Bronny winning Rookie of the Year. So what you're saying is a lie. Everybody's not hating on Bronny.
Father is the household name, but like I say, um, when he do good, you'll say like you just said, he made 17 points with 17 shots, still scored 17 points.
In
But
garbage
if he
time. In
but if he
garbage
make
time. He
no
didn't even become
right,
aggressive. He did not even become aggressive until they were already blown off the floor. It's just not true, Malik. So I'm going to move on to the next topic. I really appreciate your phone call. Your voice deserves to be heard, and it is important. It's important to hear the other side, to hear what LeBron James fans believe, to hear what Bronny supporters think is true and right. And I'm still waiting to hear when you think that he's going to morph into an NBA player, an actual NBA player, not someone just wearing a costume. Alrighty. Well, you have a good night, Malik. I hope that you enjoy the rest of the show. I'm really excited to move to the next topic.
can't close out.
Thank you so much. Okay.
I can't close out.
This was the closeout. I gave you quite a bit of time. Okay. I'm gonna move to the next topic.
Now you used up all my time though.
Malik, you only had 1 minute, and I always give you way more than that.
But you talk most of the time.
Malik, I wasn't even supposed to take your call.
Why you don't let me talk? You let everybody else talk. When I call, you just question, and don't let me finish out. Why you don't let me talk a little?
I always
I
let
mean,
you
I know
talk.
you ain't got to agree with me, but can I at least make my points?
Malik, I'm gonna move to the next topic. Okay. You can close out. You close out. Okay. Go ahead. You close out. Make your points.
I just want to say, like I said, other players played in that same game, whether they was getting blown out or not, and they didn't score 17 points. So I just think it's disingenuous to say he had 17 points just because they was being blown out. And I'll close on this point. Steph Curry himself said with their 53rd pick, they was going to pick Bronny James. But out of respect for his father, they agreed to let Bronny go, let them have him at the 55th pick. So that showed that if LeBron would have never asked him, can we have him to my team? Because that's what a father wanted with his son. He was going to be playing with the Warriors. And then was everybody going to be trashing him then too? Because the Warriors picked him up? And I close with that. Thank you for the time. And I still like your show, even though I think it's a lot of hating going on and in the comments from the callers.
Well, I appreciate
I
you.
close with that.
Thank you, Malik, for calling in.
And I like your show, though.
Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. So just to address Malik's last point, if Bronny went to the Warriors, as long as he was being made a spectacle, people were going to criticize him. So it's not about him playing with LeBron on the Lakers even. It's just the entire spectacle. It's the lies that the James family is telling. Bronny pretending that he's not going into the game, knowing that he is. Steph Curry getting checked in, at the end of a blowout game, at the end of the fourth quarter, just for the photo op with Bronny. Everybody's complicit. So the Warriors were complicit in Bronny's, media nonsense. There's so much storytelling happening here and narratives being pushed. So yeah, thank you, Malik, for that phone call. I'm concerned about LeBron fans, that there's no objectivity there, that we can't answer simple questions like, okay, well, you say that Bronny needs more time to develop. When is that going to happen? When can we expect to see a fully developed NBA player? When is the costume going to come off? Can't figure it out still. So Bronny is an imaginary player. Okay, he's an imaginary playmate. The Jay-Z song, it does apply to Bronny. Where's the Hummer at? LeBron said all these things. You got to back it up. Do these shits even have leathers? We're waiting. We're waiting for Bronny to become a real NBA player. He's not that yet.